Picture this. You're sitting there at 2 a.m., staring at your budget spreadsheet like it personally insulted your mother. The numbers are glaring back at you, mocking your third coffee purchase this week, and you're wondering if financial freedom means living off ramen noodles until you're 60. Well, I'm here to tell you something revolutionary. You can break up with your toxic budget relationship without going broke in the process. What if I told you that the reason you hate budgeting isn't because you're bad with money, but because you've been doing it all wrong? Today, we're going to completely flip the script on traditional budgeting and show you how to manage your finances without feeling like you're in financial prison. First, let's talk about why most budgets fail spectacularly. The average person tries to create a budget about 7 times before they find something that actually works. 7 times! That's more attempts than most people make at learning to ride a bike. The problem isn't your willpower or your math skills. It's that traditional budgeting treats money management like a punishment instead of a tool for freedom. Think about it. When you create a restrictive budget, you're essentially putting yourself on a financial diet. And just like crash diets, extreme budgets lead to binge spending. You deprive yourself for weeks, then explode at Target and somehow walk out with a cart full of things you definitely didn't need. Sound familiar? Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Instead of budgeting to restrict yourself, start budgeting to give yourself permission to spend. I know that sounds backwards, but stick with me. When you allocate money specifically for guilt-free spending, you're not breaking your budget, you're following it perfectly. Let's start with the foundation of a sustainable money management system. Instead of tracking every penny like a financial detective, focus on the big 3 categories that actually matter. First, your non-negotiables: rent, utilities, minimum debt payments. These are your survival expenses, and they get paid first, no exceptions. Second, your future self-fund. This is money for savings, investments, and debt elimination beyond minimums. Here's the key though. Start small. If traditional advice says, save 20%, but you can only manage 5% right now, do the 5%. A sustainable small habit beats an ambitious plan you'll abandon in 2 weeks. Third, your happiness money. This is everything else: food, entertainment, shopping, that expensive coffee that sparks joy. Notice, I didn't call it discretionary spending or fun money. Those terms make it sound optional or frivolous. Your happiness matters, and budgeting for it is smart, not selfish. Now here's where most people mess up the execution. They try to micromanage every category with military precision. Instead, use what I call the bucket system. Put money into your 3 buckets, then spend freely within those boundaries. You don't need 17 different spending categories. You need clear guardrails that give you freedom to move around. For your happiness bucket, try the weekly reset method. Every Monday, you get a fresh allowance for the week. Spend it all by Wednesday on takeout? That's fine, but you're eating leftovers until next Monday. No borrowing from next week, no guilt trips, just natural consequences that help you learn without shame. But what about those months when life happens and your perfect system falls apart? Plan for chaos from the beginning. Build a buffer category into your budget specifically for the unexpected. Not emergencies, those need a separate emergency fund. I'm talking about the predictable unpredictability of life. Your car needs an oil change, you forgot about your friend's birthday, or you just have one of those weeks where everything costs money. Here's something nobody talks about: the emotional side of money management. Your budget should make you feel secure, not anxious. If checking your bank account gives you the same feeling as waiting for medical test results, your system needs adjustment. Money management should reduce stress in your life, not create it. Let's address the elephant in the room. What if you're barely making ends meet, and this all sounds like advice for people with extra money? Start with awareness, not restriction. Track where your money goes for 2 weeks without changing anything. You might discover you're spending $40 a month on subscription services you forgot about, or that your grocery bill varies wildly based on when you shop. Small optimizations in spending can create breathing room faster than you think. Maybe you can't save hundreds every month, but finding an extra $20 or $30 gives you options you didn't have before. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress that you can sustain long term. Your money management system should evolve as your life changes. What works when you're 25 and single won't necessarily work when you're 35 with kids. Stay flexible and adjust as needed. Remember, the best budget is the one you'll actually follow. If elaborate spreadsheets excite you, use them. If simple apps work better, go that route. If you prefer cash envelopes, embrace the old school method. The tool doesn't matter as much as consistency. Breaking up with budget stress doesn't mean abandoning financial responsibility. It means finding an approach that supports your goals without making you miserable. Your future financially independent self will thank you for starting this journey with compassion instead of criticism. Start this week with one small change. Pick one area where you can give yourself more flexibility while staying responsible. Financial freedom isn't built in a day, but it starts with a single sustainable step.